None of us really know. None of us really know.
I know.
No, I know. Perfect timing, Keith.
Keith, what's up?
Your favorite movie of all time, Step 9.
Oh, good.
How is there any other choice than Remember the Titans being number one?
I'm curious.
I'm spoiling mine, but
Well, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that's a good, good
I'm
question,
not even
Brian.
done talking.
you shouldn't be talking at this point.
And the Oscar goes to not James Cameron because he wasn't nominated. It's all good. When you have 2 of the 3 highest grossing movies in the box office, you have bragging rights until somebody beats it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Apocaflix Movies, Apocaflix Now, the movie hangout show that happens every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. I am Gio. I am the host this week, and we have a fun show for you guys. Okay, if you've seen Apocaflix Now and what we do, okay, you know the movie watching challenge. Okay, we have
Oh, that's correct.
Keith's thoughts, and then who's he going to challenge next? We're going to talk about the Oscars, some of the biggest surprises, winners, snubs, controversy. How did the show do? And we'll check in with the panel and get their thoughts. We also are going to have a fun topic discussion regarding How to Train Your Dragon. The animated franchise is getting a live action adaptation. And we're also going to discuss whether or not that's a good idea for not just this movie, but also other animated projects that could be happening. All that and more. Let's check in with 2 of the members here. Mr. Brian Avalosino. Brian, what's good, man?
Doing good. Just chugging along.
Are you all done with student conferences?
Yes, I'm on spring break this week.
Spring break. So he's coming at us live from
Break.
Cancun.
Break. Yeah. So just chilling, anxiously waiting. As much as I love being here, Ted Lasso's out already.
It is
New episode. So directly when this is done, bye-bye. I'm going straight to watch season 3.
Man, I can't.
Mando at midnight.
The first episode. They dropped it at I was doing my podcast for with POV, and my phone notification went off and says Ted Lasso episode 1 season 3 is out at 6:00. So
shit, man.
You guys got something to do after this.
March is just ridiculously stacked. We thought, the movies with, Creed and Scream and 65 and Shazam releasing on Friday. I'm like, what the hell? And it's just now we got
Shazam this Friday.
Ted Lasso, right? Shazam Fury of the Gods. This is Friday. Fact check. Wow. Gordon beat me to it. Is Shazam Fury of the Gods releasing March 17th?
Oh my god, it is.
Holy
crap. Things are just
I guess my 4-year-old niece is going to watch Shazam.
Jeez.
Oh, okay. And then John Wick Chapter 4
Our
is
first comic book movie.
May 27th. Wow. Okay.
Oh my god. I haven't even
right around the corner.
caught Creed 3 and Scream yet.
Man.
It's like a big movie every week, at least.
Yeah. It's crazy, but not as crazy as Jacob was this Sunday at the Oscars. His arguably bigger than the Super Bowl for him. Jacob, care to correct me on that and tell me how you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, if the 49ers were in the Super Bowl, that goes over everything.
Hey, you might now that you have Sam
everything
Darnold
in life. Yeah, Sam Darnold. Yeah, but no, but other than that, yeah, Oscars over the Super Bowl for sure. Yes, I love the Oscars. I usually host an Oscars party, but not this year. Wasn't going to do it this year.
Yeah.
Luckily, we went to Jake's, had a good time. Good show. It was a good show. And Gio, you might as well say top three, the top of the top three of the 4 top grossing films of all time, because Titanic is number 4, because it goes Avatar, Avengers, Avatar, Titanic. So might as well throw number 4 in there as well.
You might as well just go 3 or 5.
Yeah, 3 or 4. It's a higher percentage, 75%.
Is 5 Infinity War?
5 is Endgame, I think. Oh wait, no, excuse me. 5 is Infinity War. That's 5. I get those mixed up because Infinity War is the better movie. But
that's insane.
But yes,
yeah,
yeah, I know, right, James Cameron? It's incredible. And they're not even, Way of Water is a sequel, but like they're original movies technically. But Ryan is lucky because he's already on spring break. I don't get to go on spring break until Thursday. But I did find out that we don't go back to work until Wednesday. I mean, I don't, because I'm a sub.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm a sub. Don't. Brian goes back to work either Monday or Tuesday, depending on what they have him do. They have some people going to trainings on Monday.
They're making me go to Stockton.
Why?
My coworkers are going to Stockton. Yeah.
Why are you guys talking about a week from now? Just enjoy the.
Oh, well, I'm just saying now I get a spring break from like Thursday to Tuesday, like because it connects to this week. That's why it's next week. It's like not that far away.
John Pierce, make sure that glass gets clean.
The glass lickers. Hey, my 3rd graders do not lick glass. It's got to talk to the younger kids. But yeah, good time at the Oscars. A lot of free agency moves going on in NFL. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, I'm bummed I didn't get to make the Sunday Oscars watch along. It's just, a sequence of unfortunate events. Did you guys at least have good pizza without pineapple on it?
Mm-hmm. I don't mind pineapple though.
Yes, we did. I believe we had pepperoni, and then was it like the chicken?
It was the barbecue chicken pizza.
Yeah, barbecue chicken, which is bomb. I don't know where it was from though, but it was good.
It was a New York slice.
Probably some really good place.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Pretty good.
Fun. I wish I had something interesting to say. I mean, I've just been working and
Light the beam. Does that work? Is that interesting?
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to see the Kings. It's good for the Kings doing so well. The Sacramento Kings basketball team. And it's good for the city. A lot of hype. I just found out that if I wanted to buy tickets, I'm part of like first dibs. So
wow,
tempting.
Did we just become best friends? No.
We shall see. But anyways, Jake Berlin is out this week, taking some much needed rest, and Keith Barnes should be hopping in. He's returning to work. He returned to work, I should say. But we'll hear his thoughts on Sunday when he pops in. But for now, we're going to keep the show moving. We're going to get into our regularly segment, movie watching challenge.
There
we go.
I was like, oh wait, I'm clicker person, even though I volunteered to be clicker person.
Yep. Real quick, Curtis, I'm still feeling it.
So fun fact.
Me too. It threw me off.
I didn't know about it until the Oscars. So I texted Jake, asked me to come over early to like help set up or whatever. And I was like, all right, I'm on my way. I'll be there at 2. And he texted me, he's like, it's already 3. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, it's you.
Yeah, for those who
no idea.
Audio listeners, we're talking about the Spring Forward, which I didn't mean to. I should.
No, it's a relevant thing to talk about.
Challenge.
Because I know, right? We're getting into it in the movie watching challenge.
Anyways, Keith reviewed The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, directed by David Fincher, starring.
See, that movie plays with time, right? So it's relevant. There we go.
Sure. And Kate Blanchett. The video is up on the channel, so check out Keith's thoughts. Normally, I would ask him to tease us, but he is not here, so we're just going to move forward. Keith has challenged none other than Brian Avellino, and Brian
Back to
has
Brian.
the wheel ready for his movies. So normally I'd say Keith introduce it, but Brian, why don't you go ahead and tell the audience what movie you could be possibly watching.
So one reason I like the wheel is because just because I got the movies doesn't mean I necessarily know what I'm going to get. So Keith has challenged me to 4 movies: Minority Report, Love and
Nice.
Basketball, New Jack City, and Swingers.
Wow.
I have a definite preference of what I would like, but I'm not opposed to any of these.
I mean,
let me guess. You want Minority Report?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm rooting for too. I mean,
Because
just
for whatever reason, it's been talked about a lot lately, and I don't know what that is about. Like, people were like, "Oh, it's really good." I'm like,
It's an interesting concept. I mean, not for you necessarily, but I think Swingers, like in my head before I watched Swingers, I thought it was like just a stupid dumb comedy, like they go to Vegas, ha ha ha, but it's not that at all. It's like actually a super deep film,
yeah,
and it's Jon Favreau like writing and stuff. So yeah.
Either way,
interested
these are
in that one.
all 4 movies I don't think I've ever been challenged to. So
nice.
should be interesting.
Well,
Shall
when you're
we?
ready, go ahead and click and find out your
do it.
destiny.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
You got to. That's perfect.
Hey, there you go. Tom Cruise as Chief John Anderton. You got Colin Farrell. You got Martin. Oh, I forgot his name. Guy he played. He was that terrible Bison in that Street Fighter movie. And God, what's his name? I think it's Max von Sydow too. Yeah, I mean,
It's
just
Wow.
Steven Spielberg, man, sci-fi, early 2000s, Tom Cruise, precogs. I'm excited, man. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this.
Me too. I mean, like I said, I had a preference of which one I wanted to read or to watch.
You're so focused on books lately.
I know.
Thank you, Gordon.
I'm very
Neil
excited.
McDonough.
I'm very excited. It's on
Yeah.
Peacock, so I don't have to pay for it. So I'm even more excited.
Brian, you know what? That just reminded me. So when you chose my 4 movies, you went and looked ahead that they were free on streaming, right? But you thought it was Age of Adeline, not Age of Innocence. So I got the one movie that wasn't available on streaming. It was Age of Innocence. But you know what? I don't mind because, whoever's analyzing that data, they're like, somebody rented Age of Innocence? Like, who would, like, that movie's so old.
Fair.
Like, who's still renting it? So I brought some attention to it. Like,
interesting.
people still watch
Jacob.
Scorsese movies.
Of course
But yeah, that's fun. I was like, Brian, you liar. But I know it's because you mixed the movies up. Yeah.
I did not know it was not Adeline until the second we were about to do it. Swear to God.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm
I
excited
need to watch that too.
I'm actually very excited because I've heard good things about this movie.
Yeah, when you watch it, it's gonna. Okay, so like Jacob and I think I speak for both of us. We really enjoy the Fablemans, but
Yes,
I want Spielberg to do one more Minority Report, one more big
Spielberg did this?
blockbuster. Oh yeah, Steven Spielberg. Yeah, he directed it.
I did not know that.
Oh
Now
yeah.
I am even more excited.
like Gio, did Ready Player One not scratch that itch for you, or no? Was it too?
Not really. I mean,
Like,
it was.
you want something like real world, like, well, I mean, Minority Report's not real world, but like something more gritty.
Something more, yeah. Like just
Like a
I don't
Blade
know,
Runner?
like Steven Spielberg and blockbusters. Like that guy can. I mean,
Like, you
James
want him to
Cameron's the
give
king
us,
of the
like,
box office, but
Another
like
all-time
blockbuster king.
classic.
Yeah,
You want
I don't
like
know.
a Blade Runner 2049 of Steven Spielberg type?
Yeah, Yeah. Well,
I meant that
Just-
like future
just
smarty.
yeah,
world
just
stuff.
How about
watch the movie.
Okay.
Steven Spielberg's Justice League? There we go. I found it. There we go. He would kill
Man.
it. He would kill it.
He would kill it, but like, I don't. Never mind. Anyways, we're gonna get into. All right, let's move on.
I should have
Next
never
week,
said that, actually.
stay tuned for Brian's thoughts on Minority Report and find out who he's going to challenge on the panel. Let's move ahead to our first topic here. The Oscars happened. Lots of exciting stuff that was talked about for even to today. You know, it was just all over social media. Some big winners. Everything Everywhere All at Once was big time winner at that event. And you know, before we get into who won, who lost, I want to get your guys' thoughts on how the show went. Mostly you two, because I didn't watch it. And yeah, whoever wants to start off, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I don't typically watch these unless it's like with us. Like if it's like a group or something.
Yeah.
I would probably just watch like maybe like the last 4, like the biggest ones. Well, actually, technically, supporting is in the beginning, but like just the main ones, you know. I don't.
Right.
But it's always more fun when you're doing it with like a watch along with people who actually do also appreciate movies. And
exactly, yeah.
It's fun because we did like a little bit of a betting competition type thing and filling out brackets and stuff. So it's so much more enjoyable than just sitting there by yourself watching it, because like I don't know. For me, I don't, my full attention doesn't need to be there the whole time if I'm not with other people. So I thought overall it was really fun. I'm glad we finally did another watch along, if that's what we want to call it.
Yeah.
The first one was like 5 years ago at my old apartment. So it's fun. I honestly like that would be a fun tradition to keep going. So, but overall, the Oscars, that was really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough because, you know, the last Oscars was supposed to be like kind of returning back to normal, and then the slap happens, right? And the ones before that were COVID. I mean, the one before that was during COVID. So it's like we just wanted to do something simple and get it done, right? Or see something simple and just no drama or anything like that. And I thought that it did that very well. Like they kept it simple. I mean, we were talking about when the only part that I didn't like was when Kimmel went out into the crowd and was interviewing the guests. It just felt like forcing them to like comment on stuff that they don't want to talk about. And it's like, it's almost like baiting them to say something controversial or something. And I'm just like, that was a little, the Oscars are supposed to be classy. And to me, that just didn't feel classy. And then the bear comes crawling on the ground. But like, other than that one moment, I thought it was pretty classy and solid.
I liked everything, but when they went when he went and interviewed Malala.
Yeah.
Everything
and
else, was fine.
That was the lady that the bear came up to afterwards, right?
Yes.
And she looked so uncomfortable. Like, and, but you know, shout out to like, who was it? Jessica Chastain, who like joke backed with him.
That was a good one.
Like, yeah. So it was cool. Like I like Kimmel. Like I don't really watch his show, but you know, as soon as I found out he was hosting, I was like, oh, he's going to do a good job. Like I have no worry about him. There were other people in the past leading up to their hosting where I was worried, but with him, I was like, this is a safe choice, but it's a good choice. And I think he delivered. Like, I think in the future, they can try to make some more non-traditional choices as far as host goes and decisions as the show presentation. But this year they just had to keep it clean, keep it safe, get a reliable host, and they did that. And I thought they just needed a Oscars without a problem, and I think they did that.
So that begs the question: does the Oscars need a host? Especially if all you're going to do is just play it safe, like you could get anybody at that point,
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't know. Like, could you guys see? Like, does somebody come to mind? Like, I don't see Joe Rogan ever hosting the Oscars, but like,
No
because
way.
I don't think it's his thing. But like,
Uh-uh.
does the Oscars, is it necessary to have a host? And do you have anybody in mind that you want to see in the future?
I think yes. I think it does need a host. They did that year without a host, right? The COVID year or something. Was it the COVID year?
I think so.
One year they tried no host, but I think it does need a host. It's the classic Oscars, man. Like that with the extravagant host and just having them do it. Because to me, like I thought Kimmel was funny. Like, not every joke hit, but I thought he was funny. And I think if you get the right person in, I think it makes the show just flow better. And it feels more personable, like instead of just like a voice talking to us as they transition. You know what I mean? So I think they do need a host. I don't know anyone off the top of my head. Like I thought Seth MacFarlane did a good job. I like Neil Patrick Harris. I thought he did a good job. Bring Seth MacFarlane back. He was like solid. So I'd be down for that.
I know everyone keeps saying Billy Crystal was the best host ever.
Yeah, I mean, can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. The man's 75 years old. I don't know if he wants to do that anymore. I go back and forth. I mean, it could have been fine, I think, just surviving without it. Because, like, if you think about it, like,
well, the presenters kind of talk too.
Yeah, the presenters kind of each had their own little like spiel, if you will. So that, I mean, so you could do that. I mean, it's always nice. It seems a little bit more formal when you have like someone hosting and like basically kind of leading this fancy night, if you will. I think Elizabeth Banks actually would be pretty funny as a host. I was laughing pretty hard when she was, and she wasn't even like trying. I mean,
and she was like under the weather too.
Yeah,
and she still was funny. Yeah,
yeah, like her just dry humor almost kind of was the funniest thing. Kind of like, I'm sick, I have to be here. There's a stupid bear mascot that I just made a movie off of, like whatever. So like, I think she would be funny to do it. But I don't think it necessarily has to have a host. So I'm kind of, to be honest, like sometimes I forgot Jimmy Kimmel was even like hosting outside of him going into the aisle, like in his opening monologue. Like, I don't remember anything else he did.
They kind of just handle the transitions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's basically all. I think the opening monologue is something that needs to stay. Let's say they decided we're not going to do a host, but they should still have somebody come out and do an opening monologue, I think. Because just to welcome everybody to the Oscars and bring it in. Otherwise, what's the alternative? Like a voice, hey, welcome to the Oscars, everybody. It's going to be a special night. And then like it just starts. Like
have Ted Lasso be the host.
Yeah, but as Ted Lasso?
Yes.
Everyone would love that.
Sudeikis, Ted Lasso be the host.
So Bill Belichick should host the Oscars. No,
absolutely not.
Yeah. I just want somebody like who's elegant but funny. I don't know. Perfect host, I guess. But what about you, Gio? What do you think on that issue?
I mean, it all depends on trying to figure out what the hell the Academy is trying to do. Are you trying to please your your loyal viewers who, wanted every category to be shown, which they said in the opening monologue, we're doing it. We're getting the every category will be shown on televised. Or are you trying to
It's the
appeal to
right
a
thing to do.
bigger are you trying to appeal to a bigger audience? Because that's been, the topic surrounding the Oscars. It's like, like the viewership drops and like not enough people are engaged in it or seem to be taking an interest in it. It's why you have, in the past, hosts like um Seth MacFarlane, or you have, things like the Avengers are going to present an award or something like that. It's just, it all depends on what the Academy is trying to do. Because if you're trying to please everybody, that's how you end up with a messy show and you please nobody. It's a difficult thing to question to answer. Yeah, I think a host would be useful, necessary, to kind of keep the show going. And because you just never know what'll happen at the Oscars, clearly. And uh, uh, looking at last year, and maybe there is an opportunity to have some levity instead of just, here, let me present an award to you, and you get to come up there and thank all your producers and say something political, and then I'll talk about this and that. And it's just like, I mean, for me, if I were running the Academy, which I would never do because I'm not that smart. I'm looking for
I think you're that
hosts.
smart. You just wouldn't want to deal with that nonsense because I wouldn't either.
Oh,
He would
I would
ban
throw
all Marvel nominations. Just kidding,
I
Joe. Just
I
kidding.
would throw Bill Burr out there. Looking at what he did with the Latin Grammys and stuff like that, it's
Hey,
just
why
like,
not?
y'all need to chill, okay? All of you are millionaires out there. Your movies made a lot of money, okay? You're really just patting each other on the back and like vote for each other and whatnot. There's no fan voting or anything like that. And when there was fan voting, like people got upset. Um, so
Karen,
Bill,
sorry, I
hmm?
didn't mean to cut you
Go ahead,
off. Karen,
go
I
ahead.
love Karen's comment. Bowen Yang from SNL would be good. I love him. He would be hilarious. I think they would be afraid of him because he is not afraid to be outlandish.
Oh, he was in that skit with Pedro Pascal. Yeah, that was
Yes,
hilarious. Yeah.
he's hilarious. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's all good. So I can only give so much from my take, seeing as I didn't watch the show from start to finish. I from what I did see, it looked like it went pretty smooth for the most part, and playing it safe. And yeah, they had some fun with, what happened last year, which you could argue, with the viewership at 18%, you could say part of that was because of the nominees, but also another part of it was because people out of curiosity wanted to know, okay, is it going to be addressed to Will Smith's slap, and what's going to happen in this Oscars? Once that happened last year, that was all that was talked about, for better or worse. That's all people cared about. I remember after watching that take place, I couldn't tell you who won next and what the winners were. So yeah, it's a difficult question, but I'm glad to see some people here in the chat, giving their input. Somebody's like Deadpool hosting. Get Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman to host. There you go.
So that's what
That
I
would
was
be
thinking.
perfect.
I was
They'll
thinking.
they will be presenters though. I guarantee next year. So
I think you just need to find people that are like universally liked. I mean, that's Ryan Reynolds. Everyone likes Ryan Reynolds. Everyone likes Hugh Jackman. Everyone likes, I don't know who else is there. No one else.
like Robert Downey Jr. Everyone loves Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Will Ferrell and Steve Carell from John Booth. Like just people that are universally liked. They don't, as an ambulance goes by, they don't need to like, I mean, you don't even, they can say like a funny, like little quip here and there. They don't even have, for me, they don't even have to do like a giant opening monologue. Like them just being there and just being like funny, saying funny things would be enough for me. I don't need like a 10-minute monologue about like just what's going on and stuff like that. But just people that are universally liked, that are enjoyable, like I don't see why not. I'd even take people that like other people that have won like Emmys, like TV show type people. Like give me the cast of Ted Lasso as the hosts. Like I'd take any single one of them. Brett Goldstein or Jason Sudeikis. Like just I think that would be kind of fun. So I don't know.
Well, let's move on to the winners. Okay, and was there anybody that you were really happy to see win? Were there people you were shocked won? Like, let's get into this.
Do you want me to go first?
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay. Angela Bassett, and I'm not saying this because of it's a Marvel movie. And hear me out before I get to it.
Okay.
Angela Bassett should have won that category, personally. That's my opinion. Not because of Marvel, just because she put a hell of a freaking performance as the queen that lost everything, essentially. Okay? Here's where my problem lies. I watched 6 of the 10 Best Picture nominees.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think Angela Bassett should have beat Jamie Lee Curtis? Yes. My issue lies in that I don't even think Jamie Lee Curtis is the best supporting actor in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I agree with that. So that's the thing.
Stephanie Hsu
was nominated also. Yeah.
Is the one. If we were going to pick someone out of those two, they picked the wrong one. Jamie Lee Curtis is great. Don't get me wrong. But Stephanie Hsu steals that movie at times. She is phenomenal. Michelle Yeoh is on a whole nother level, but Stephanie Hsu was my favorite part of that whole entire movie.
Well, and she's going back and forth with her throughout that whole movie.
Yes.
And I think she shows a range of emotions in that movie, like way more than Jamie Lee Curtis does. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, I'm a huge Halloween fan. It's my favorite horror franchise. I'm so glad she won an Oscar. Like, I don't want to take away, this was probably her lifelong dream.
Of course.
And she accomplished it. So I don't want to take away from her, but I agree with you.
Yes.
If I had a vote, it would have went to Angela Bassett. It has nothing to do with comic book movies or anything, but out of the ones that I had seen, she was the best performance.
Yeah. So that's my Did I think Angela Bassett should have won? Yes. Where my problem lies is I still, on top of Angela Bassett, I still think there was another person better than Jamie Lee Curtis. So that was my biggest annoyance, was not only did the person that I wanted to win not win, there was still, to me, another person that was better than Jamie Lee Curtis on top of that. And I'm 100% with Jacob. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't want to take anything away from her. She has worked her ass off for decades and decades. But do I think that there was a bit of legacy involved into that? Yes. And Stephanie Hsu had, unfortunately, zero chance when you have Angela Bassett on one side and Jamie Lee Curtis on the other side. The names alone probably win them that Oscar.
It should go to the person who deserves it that year, I think. And if it was is it Stephanie Hsu? If it was her, then they should vote for her. But I get what you're saying. What if they're like, man, it's a toss-up between those three. They're going to vote for Angela Bassett or Jamie Lee because that's the legacy thing that kicks in. So I agree with you, Brian.
Yeah. Other than that, I think everything pretty much landed for the most part where it could or should have. The only shocking one to me being the women talking win. Because I mean,
That's
no
right.
one,
Yeah.
we all, when we were watching it, we were like, oh, like that seemed like an upset. I mean, I didn't see women talking, so that was one of the 4 I didn't get to. So I'm not here to judge and say that shouldn't have won. But from what it seemed like by other people's reactions, that was the only like huge shocker, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with most of the wins. Like we already talked about best supporting actors. I don't agree with. I don't like. I love Everything Everywhere All at Once, and like I was trying to look, where is it in my? It was my number 4 movie last year. So I love that movie, but like I would have voted for Avatar, but I know Avatar had no chance to win, so I'm okay with Everything Everywhere All at Once winning. And of course, the Batman wasn't nominated, of course. But so I think the right movie won that award for sure. Gio, I mean, I know you're probably that's one of us are going to bring this up, but Brendan Fraser. Now, look, I haven't seen The Whale, unfortunately, because it was so difficult. Like, we don't get free screenings or anything like that, so it was so difficult to watch it. Like, it was very limited in theaters, and then it just became available to rent recently, and it never went. It stayed at that $19.99 price, and it never went down. Not to say it's not worth it, but like, come on now.
I'm sorry. This is
No, go ahead. Yeah.
With that, it will always drive me nuts for people for streaming services to rent it at that high of a price. Because if I'm gonna rent it at that price, I'm gonna pay a couple more dollars and just buy the movie.
No, I know, and it's
Like-
so weird that they do that, and it's like they're taking away viewership from their movie, I think, and this is a whole nother issue. But like,
yeah, sorry.
I bet you if it was available for $4.99 or on Peacock or whatever studio made it, A24 made it, but I don't know where they go to every time. But it would have gotten more eyeballs on it, and more people would have talked about it. But whatever, he won, so that's already doing it for him. But I'm just so happy. Like, I was thinking about this earlier today now, and I know we just talked about Jamie Lee Curtis, but like some people that I grew up watching my whole entire life took home an Oscar, and I'm just so happy for them. Brendan Fraser, Jamie Lee Curtis, like I never, as soon as I like came into this world, I knew who those people were. Like, so.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, like as soon as I was old enough to comprehend who actors were, I knew who they were. So it's pretty nice to see them, and especially Brendan Fraser. Like, he was so like just disappeared for a while, and to see him come back and do that is amazing. I know you're a big fan too, Gio.
Yeah, I mean, it was everybody loves Brendan Fraser. Okay, this guy was dealt a really, really bad hand, both in his personal life and in Hollywood. And for him to come out of this on the other side of winning the top award for acting, it's just incredible. And his speech, just like so much emotion and whatnot, because he's probably thinking about all of that. There was a moment in his speech when he said something about like, what, like I didn't realize what I had with a certain place that he fell back on until it was gone. And just the amount of gratitude that I mean, they were all grateful, obviously, but Brendan Fraser, that's one that I think everyone universally would have stood up in applause and just be like, you did it, man, you did it.
Who
And
doesn't like Brendan Fraser? Okay, I didn't mean that literally. I'm just saying in general, he's a nice guy.
I was gonna say,
oh,
never mind.
He's trying to think of somebody that he knows that doesn't like her.
Yeah, not a literal enemy, Gio.
And in regards to Jamie Lee Curtis, winning, I personally don't have a problem with that. Let's not take away the significance of getting of being an Oscar nominated actor or actress. It's, I mean, yeah, you didn't win a statue, but you know what? Like, in a year with so many performances and whatnot, to have that nomination on your resume, still means something. But the way you guys feel about Jamie Lee Curtis winning over Bassett or Shue. It's how I feel when Stallone was robbed. It's like it's just it's all opinion based, really, and even down to the voting. It's like they voted for who they thought. So it's all subjective. So yeah, she didn't take on the statue, but that movie is as in Everything Everywhere All at Once. That movie is just. I mean, if you didn't watch it, you probably are very interested in seeing it and seeing the movie that dominated.
The most
Most of the major
awarded
categories.
movie of all time.
The what?
During the most awarded movie of all time during an award season.
Oh, like counting all the major awards. Nice.
So
That's great. So not Oscars, but all.
Not
awards.
Oscars.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna
'Cause-
say,
No.
Return of the King might have something to
Yeah,
say.
there's a few movies tied for 11. There's
Yeah.
a few movies tied for 11 Oscars.
All right. Well, let's bring in our other member here, Mr. Keith Barnes. Keith, how are you? And what'd you think about some of the Oscar winners?
Good evening. Doing all right. Yeah, a lot of it. Oh well, I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Just kind of, it's one of those years where just the one movie kind of dominated most of the awards. So that was cool to watch. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem. I wish that, and I've seen a lot of people share this. I felt the same way, but Stephanie Sue would have won if it wasn't going to be Angela Bassett. Jamie Lee Curtis is, she's a legend.
Icon.
Yeah. But I mean, as is Angela Bassett, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, but that in that particular movie, if I was going to choose between those two, I mean, Stephanie Sue was amazing.
100%.
Amazing.
That's what I said.
Like, she did so much, playing different versions of herself, and I just thought she was kind of the outside of the two, Michelle Yeoh and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name already. I'm so sorry.
Okay, who Kwan?
Yes.
Oh.
Goodness. Sorry. Yeah. Outside of two of them, I mean, Stephanie Sue was a star of the movie. I thought so. But that is, as disappointed, obviously, in Angela Bassett. There's a few times. Listen, on the one hand, it's like, and Gio, just kind of speak to your point, like a little bit to your point. You don't need, like, we know what a legend Angela Bassett is. So you don't necessarily feel like you need, I don't think, as a fan of hers, you guys know, I talk about her all the time, whenever, throughout this channel. She doesn't need that validation. I don't think I know she doesn't, but I know just for her, having been in this industry for such a long time, it would mean something to get that validation from her peers.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it matters to her.
Right.
And that's the important part for me.
That's what I'm saying. And
like,
so I get,
sucks.
yeah.
Because, like, I don't think she's mad, like, I should have been the one who won. Imagine if, like, you didn't win. Like, she was upset because she didn't win. Like, of course she's going to be upset.
Right. And like I said, it's happened to her before. Obviously, if you go back to What's Love Got to Do with It, she absolutely should. I don't remember who won that year, but she absolutely should have won that year.
Well, I didn't know that. I wasn't paying attention to this, but like, Angela Bassett was the favorite for a long time.
Yeah.
She won all the major awards until SAG, and she was even the heavy favorite in Vegas. Once SAG came, Jamie Lee Curtis won the SAG award, which is the Screen Actors Guild Award.
Well,
so we should have known
a sense that,
but I wasn't even thinking about it.
Yeah, because the SAG, again, those are your peers, sort of like the Oscars. So it
doesn't always match up, but it
often
it
does.
should.
Yeah. So
I didn't even notice this. Although mine's not black. Navy blue.
Oh, mine's dark blue
yeah.
also. Look, it's like a navy, but it looks black. I was thinking that too.
Yeah. But so I again, her disappointment. Plus, the issue, which this has been going on for years, the issue of some of the voters, whether or not they actually watch some of the movies and categories that they're supposed to be voting for. That's a big issue.
They should be stripped of their vote if they
absolutely should. They need to whittle down the number of voters too. That's sort of like look at the Baseball Hall of Fame, where there's like several hundred different voters. Like, that's nuts. You don't need to have that many.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. Those are all larger issues for the Academy to deal with. But yeah, very, very happy. Everybody in the whole world should be, of course, happy for Brendan Fraser. You know, he was on his way to being a superstar. And I don't know. He's some of those guys that I don't know if Hollywood knew really what to do with him, because I mean he can do anything. You know, he's an actor that can do. He's funny. He's very funny. He does a lot of comedic stuff. So people thought he was one of those actors, and well, no, he can do really great, a lot of dramatic roles. You know, you go as far back as like School Ties or the movie Now, huh? Well, the Mummy, sure, the Mummy, very dramatic role. All a bunch of stuff. That's that movie he was in with Ian McKellen. I can't remember what it's called. Gods and Monsters, maybe, which is I think it's the name of it, which is really, really good. He's great in that. So there's a lot. I mean, this is one of those ones where it's long overdue. He's definitely earned it. You know, I know he got all messed up playing in like shooting the Mummy movies. His body got all messed up, and he still really hasn't recovered. You know, he talks about the way that effect that had on his career. And then of course him being, you know, assaulted essentially. You know, that's been and then which is crazy. It seems like he's been, for him speaking out on that, like been blackballed essentially, which is bizarre, right? Like, you know, so it's one of those things where if that could happen to him, you can imagine this is why women have had a lot of actors have had that are afraid to speak out and those kind of things, you know. But so that being said, it's good that it's one of those ones where he won. And they're calling it a comeback. This is a full on, hey, don't call it a comeback. You know, he's been there for years. He's been there forever.
Yeah.
You know, so it's. I'm glad he finally got it though. So, yeah, so that was a lot of great wins. I enjoyed it. Of course, enjoyed it watching it with you guys. So it was a lot of fun as always. But
we need to make it tradition.
100%. Yeah, we definitely.
Well, we were going to until COVID happened. Like we
That's
did
true.
it, and we planned to do it every year because
Yeah,
that first one went great.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened the next year. COVID continued, and then
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll do it again. But I'm glad. I love that. I don't think anybody expected Top Gun Maverick to win Best Picture, but I'm glad I got nominated. I really am.
I deserve to be nominated at least.
Well,
like
it's all absolutely. In addition to aside from it being a good movie, a great movie, but like rarely this is a thing that's come up all the time. Like the highest grossing movies don't really get nominated that often. They should. Those are the movies that, you know. I mean, there's silly movies that make a lot of money, of course, but a lot of the times there's some pretty good ones. And you know, I'm looking at things like, of course, you know, like Avengers, like Endgame or Infinity War. Either one of those really could have been nominated for Best Picture. Probably should have. I know they talked about Logan the one year. Logan definitely probably should have been nominated for Best Picture.
yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, and not just comic book movies. Any kind of big genre thing that makes a lot of money. There's no reason, you know. So I'm glad. Hopefully, Top Gun kind of broke that. For now, anyway, that kind of that mold.
I'm sorry if you are not like I mean, yes, it had a movie before that, but if you are not a franchised movie that has had a long time of success and you pull in the money and the numbers that Top Gun does, I don't care what it is, it deserves to be nominated.
Yeah.
That's my opinion personally.
Well, and it was like everybody says like, oh, it brought people back to the movies. I mean, like Spider-Man also did, but like that brought out older people, older crowds, like all, you know, age ranges. So
say what you want about Top Gun or Tom Cruise. That movie deserved the amount of money.
Like,
right.
It's a great movie too. Like it's not
That's
just
what I'm
the
saying.
accolades, the financial accolades.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
It's actually good. If it's something that's as well reviewed as that was, and the reason, and I say that because again, I was listening to somebody. It was a sports show, so I mean, but still, they're talking about it, and one of the people on the show is like, "I just don't look at Top Gun Maverick as an Oscar film. What's an Oscar film? Like, what is it? We need to change that mentality. What we think.
No, there's no such thing as an Oscar film.
Exactly.
All films should be eligible. Like as long as they release in LA, New York, whatever, in theaters. But
sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
a movie
yeah.
is a movie. Like, it could,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a blockbuster stop motion animation movie that makes $2 billion. If it's the best movie, it should win or be
Yeah.
nominated. You know?
Yeah. So that's my opinion.
Agree.
Well, we could continue this on and go through each category, but we're going to wrap it up here with the Oscars discussion. And can't wait to see what next year brings. And hopefully I'll be there. We'll see. Before we get to our second main topic here, it's time for me to plug something. The Last of Us just wrapped its first season. Honestly, I thought we'd be talking about it tonight. But last night, Keith and I did the season finale, episode 9, and shared our thoughts. We have been doing the whole entire season every Sunday, and you can find those videos on the channel in case you want more in-depth discussions on each episode of The Last of Us season 1. And yeah, it's there on the channel for you to check out. We appreciate it very much. And, if you have any ideas about which shows we should tackle next, if any, let us know. Give us your thoughts. We appreciate your guys' feedback on that. And, honestly, as much as I am sad, The Last of Us is over until they shoot season 2, I am happy to have my Sundays back. Let me tell you. For me speaking, it's
That's a
gonna be
long
nice.
day for you. Yeah.
It's a long day for us who work on the weekends. Okay. So
Sure.
keep that in mind. All right. Let's get to our second main topic. How to Train Your Dragon is getting a live action adaptation from Universal. Dean De Blois, who directed the first 3 animated features, will direct. Interesting. And it's set for a March 2025 release date. Is this necessary? I want to ask you guys because I have never seen any of the How to Train Your Dragon movies. And I have some comments on animation, the live action adaptation, but you guys take it away. Those who have seen How to Train Your Dragon should probably go first.
So I haven't seen them either. This is the one animated franchise. I mean, we've known this for years. Yes, we've been talking about this ever since we started the movie watching challenge.
Guess who's getting challenged next week?
And nobody ever challenged me to them. They're on the list too.
I didn't realize that.
No
Jacob,
one ever challenges me to them.
Guess who's
You
getting
will love, especially
That's what
the
everybody
first one,
says.
The first Geo, you too. So I know, but Jacob specific, you will love that first one.
Yeah, Jake has always told me that. Like, what am I doing? Like, go watch them right now. Like, so I haven't seen them either. But I will say, just really quick, like, why not? But I haven't seen them, so if you guys have different thoughts, I'm curious to hear them.
Brian,
do you want me to go or you want to go? No, these movies do not need to be adapted to live action. Why?
Yeah,
because it hasn't even sat on the shelf for like 5 years. Like, if we were talking maybe like 15, 20 years from now, sure. Like,
I don't think
see, now I'm the opposite. I don't need, listen.
That first one came out like 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah, but they're going to immediately jump into the next sequel and try to make this a live action blockbuster franchise. So for me, do I need this right now? No. Because
good, because it's released in 2025. So
either way,
you got some time.
And trust me, I'm actually not one of the ones that is not opposed to taking animated properties and turning them into live action. I think it's fun. Like, I actually do quite enjoy the ones that Disney does, except for The Lion King. But I just feel like it's so soon. Like, it's just, I don't know. I understand when you're doing things like The Little Mermaid. Like that was a long time ago. What else has been adapted? Beauty and the Beast, a long time ago.
Pretty much
Aladdin,
most
a
of
long time ago.
all of Disney's Renaissance movies.
Yes, we're talking like 30 years. You need to let, if you want animation to be taken seriously, you need to let that build its reputation. How to Train Your Dragon, is it, I mean, yes, it is. I was going to say, is it as universally known as everything else? No, but it actually really is. It had its own TV show and everything.
Yeah.
So it needs to like kind of just be the animated thing that it was before it just immediately turned into, oh, here's the live action version. Because now I'm curious, what year did it come out?
Like
Which one?
2010. First one came out in 2010.
Yeah, 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So that movie hasn't even been around for what? We're at 13 years?
It's 12 years, 13 years.
Yeah, it'll be 15 years by the time
so
the movie comes out.
So Disney's live action, what is the most recent, like what is the most new live action film?
Aladdin?
No, I meant like,
Oh, as far as like the most recent, like the original?
probably what, Mulan?
Oh, Pinocchio?
Oh no.
Not the literal.
No. You're
Not
talking
the
about
literal,
Disney
I'm
animated,
talking,
like
Yeah.
Mulan
Oh.
98.
Probably Mulan. I'll top
So
my head.
I'm talking like time frame that Disney has allowed a movie.
I see. Oh, I see what
So-
you're saying. Yeah, like
okay,
a
let me-
classic that they adapted.
Yes, one of their classics that they remade. So,
Oh well, no, Pinocchio is one.
yeah, but Pinocchio came out forever ago. I'm talking
Oh.
about.
Recent. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, let's not
So-
talk about Pinocchio. That movie, I
I'm-
haven't seen it, but the word of mouth is like, ugh.
No, I thought he was asking what was the most recent.
Or unless
adaptation.
you're talking about Guillermo del Toro.
I was just answering the question, but
So it's probably what, Mulan? I would
Mulan.
imagine.
I think so.
was 1998.
so you just want 2 decades at least, like.
Sure, if that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
Yeah, but
I mean-
it's almost that. I mean, it's 12.
No, go ahead, Keith. Keith, jump in there. Come
Yeah,
on.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I don't totally disagree. I understand what you're saying, but if it was any, I think because the third one came out like what 4 or 5 years ago or something, or if that.
Yeah, I think it was
Something like that.
right before quarantine. I
Yeah.
want to say.
So I haven't seen the third one, but
2019. So 4 years ago.
Yeah, Andy.
yeah.
Can't wait for Lilo and Stitch.
so I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, I did hear about Lilo and Stitch, and I have another one that I can't believe hasn't been remade.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
But, yeah, that's what I said. I know. But no, I'm just saying. I get it. But I mean, like I said, the Gio, you just said it. By the time this actually comes out, it'll be 15 years since the first one was released, and there's kids. I mean, my kids they'll love that, because they were little when that came out. But they'll be, almost in their 20s by the time. Well, Kevin will be actually. They'll all be in their 20s by the time this comes out. So, so in that sense, like if you're
Emma's going to be 20. Wow.
no, she won't. She'll be a teenager. But Charlize, the other three they'll be. Sophia she'll be 19. But Charlize and Kevin will be in their 20s. They'll be 20 and 21. So I know.
I'm gonna be 34.
Oh,
shut up. So am I.
You young punks.
This year.
I just turned 44. Okay. So,
Hey, I thought you were 32.
I'll take that. Thank you. I will take that. You're lying, but I will absolutely take that. But no, I think this is gonna be cool, right? I mean, that obviously, yes, we know live action, yes, CG, we know it's gonna be, but it looks like what would you call it? I guess the new super animation where it's like it looks real. I don't know.
Talking about well, not 3D, but like hybrid.
Like that cat in Toy Story 4, which was crazy how real that thing looked. But
Fair.
it's that kind of thing. So this will be a lot of that, and I think it'd be cool.
Oh, you mean like photorealistic?
Sort of like that, right? It'll probably
Yeah.
be sort of like that, yeah, or just like they did with the line.
Oh, you mean like Jungle Book?
And Jungle Book, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, dragons aren't real, but I know what you mean. Well, I mean, I like to think that dragons are.
Well,
real,
you go back to a movie. Brian, I nearly challenged you to the movie Reign of Fire. I almost added that to the list.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Minority
man.
Report one, by the way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
Good. Okay, that's the one I wanted you to see.
So did I.
Wow, nice.
I mean, all of them. I want you to see all of them, but especially that one. But yeah, you go back to rewatch Reign of Fire. Like that's not too bad.
You're going all the way back 2003.
That's 20 years ago.
Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey.
Hey,
And
we're
the
getting
CG's
Dungeons and Dragons soon.
Right, exactly. And what's the
Now
what
that
the
I'm curious about.
how do the dragons look on House of Dragons? Or?
Oh, amazing!
Yeah.
That's pretty
yeah.
good, right?
Probably the best ever, honestly.
Right. So yeah,
And we're getting a
Right.
dragon in Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
yeah. There you go. So
Yeah.
that'll be cool, right? And like I said, that first story is so good. I don't know if is it Jay Baruchel? He's the voice of
Yeah.
the guy, right? I mean, he'll be too old to play.
Yeah, if he
I
wasn't
assume you
too
will
old,
have. You will probably have no one.
That like
Reused.
unknowns.
how
I would
old is the
imagine
main
you-
character supposed to be in the first one? Like a teenager?
He's a kid, yeah. He's
Yeah,
probably
he's like,
17, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a ton of people you can choose
You could get the dad,
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler
to
could,
play the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should. They should.
yeah. So
That's
that would be
fair.
cool.
Mhm.
Get
But,
him involved. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Jacob, tell me if you feel this. No, I think I'm alone on this. But a live action How to Train Your Dragon is probably the most I've ever been interested in watching a How to Train Your Dragon movie.
Hmm.
I am not the demographic for How to Train Your Dragon. That's nothing against those who at their own will go and watch it. But speaking just for me myself,
Yeah.
now I have my eye on How to Train Your Dragon because I'm like, okay, you're gonna give me live action dragons. It's probably just by the title alone, it's gonna be a fun movie with heart, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it goes without saying. That's what the movies are. And I think by doing a live action adaptation, you're presenting the same story, the same lore to a different demographic who otherwise would not have seen this, these movies, which, which you guys probably feel a certain way because you're like, these are great movies. They deserve to be seen. And yeah, they do. But we also live in an age with a lot of content. I mean, we just talked about Ted Lasso season 3 and like all these movies in theaters and stuff like that. Like if you don't catch these movies when they release or like soon, it's just, you could easily fall behind. And now I'm interested in a How to Train Your Dragon movie. And you can't blame DreamWorks. They've been thinking about this for a long time, probably since Jungle Book. Like Disney is doing all these live action adaptations. And these are some of their best movies from the Renaissance era. Some turned out really great. Some turned out, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. But with Universal, they're like, okay, let's take our big one and let's, you got House of Dragons on there, killing it. People love seeing dragons. They're badass. They're awesome. Right? I would put them right beneath superheroes. Right? Like people who enjoy comic book movies.
No, they're definitely dragons
I would
are
put dragons next.
like
Maybe dinosaurs and then
some
dragons.
of the coolest things on Earth, or like creatively that we've ever thought of. Yeah.
Sure. So Jacob, do you share any similar opinions? How are you going about this?
I think you're like in the right mindset because the thing is, this isn't going to, like, everybody who loves the animated films, they're gonna go watch the live action ones, right?
Yeah.
So this will only create new fans. Like now, Gio, you're interested. Like you love
Yeah.
Gerard Butler, they cast him as the dad, you probably be even more interested. So
yeah.
because he voices the dad. So
I need him to do a Sparta kick in the movie, just as a
yeah. Maybe because trust me, there are some animated films that I don't want them to make live action. So maybe I watched this and I changed my mind, but I haven't seen them, so I can't say. But I think you're right, Gio. Like, I mean, it made you more interested. So there's the proof right there.
Oh well, to kind of hit on your point, Gio, what you said. Excuse me, sorry. Like I that's why I mentioned my kids. You know, because they were little at the time. 2010, they were 4, 5, and 6, and like I said, they're going to be in their early 20s by the time this comes out. That's something that will pique their interest because they love the How to Train Your Dragon movies. And then Emma, who was not born yet, didn't see him. Actually, I don't think I've shown those to her yet. She'll be a little bit older at what time it comes out, but she'll be interested in the new one. That's why I'm somebody. I'm not opposed. I used to be like everybody else. No, you can't remake this. You can't change this or do whatever. I've fully gone back on that now. You can remake anything. It doesn't matter because it's not going to take away the original. They remade Point Break. The Point Break remake is awful, terrible. It came and went. Nobody
Don't talk about the Fast and the Furious like that. What is wrong
You're actually right. When they remade Point Break the second time, the actual when the one that's actually called Point Break.
Geo Family returns in 2 months.
Hey.
When the actual Point Break remake came and went, nobody talks about it. People still go back and speak with all the reverence in the world for the original. So like if you remake something, if it's good, great, and if it turns out bad, you know what, it'll go away. Nobody will ever talk about it. So you can remake anything. So I'm not opposed to that. Like
for better or worse. I mean, that's just a hard truth.
You want the Harry Potters remade?
First of all, I'll bet you they definitely will. At least I'll say this: if and or when JK either settles or when she dies, they will absolutely remake.
Can't wait for that day.
I've always said they will. They will. It may not be in our lifetime. They will absolutely remake Star Wars from the beginning. They absolutely
Star
will.
Wars?
Yes.
They'll remake everything. We might not be alive to see it.
I don't know because, well, I mean, in the sense that in the sense that you get a Force Awakens, which is like there are very similar beats.
I
don't mean a reboot.
A New
I'm
Hope.
talking about they will remake A New Hope, and they will remake the original trilogy 100%.
But no, you would only
80 years.
You would only do that if like you've exhausted Star Wars to like every corner of that.
We're getting near that point, Gio. That's why they're struggling to make new movies now.
Yeah,
we're
but
not that far off.
That is not the answer to reboot Star Wars. You're gonna do more damage.
It doesn't matter if it's
Keith and I are literally talking about like 200 years from now. Like they'll remake it.
No, it's not that far. It'll be within the next.
I hope I'm dead by that time.
That's what I say. It may not be in our lifetime, but it'll absolutely happen. It'll absolutely happen. Yeah. Listen, even things that make money, that things people's beloved. How many Robin Hood movies? There's a million Robin Hood movies. There's a million Batman movies. There's a million things about Dracula. Like Star Wars is gonna be that. Like it's gonna be eventually new generations are gonna come. They're gonna say, what was it? They'll still have the original to watch, but someone's gonna have the idea. Ooh, let's do this again and see if we can do it better.
So you're talking about telling the exact same story. Here's a young boy named Luke, the same character, same way he defeats the Death Star. I mean, he, Well,
they might change it like they do any remake.
They remade Psycho. they remade everything. They remake all kinds of stuff. Like somebody will remake The Godfather at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody's like. So I'm not opposed to it, and it'll be the same thing with animation. They're gonna live action a bunch of stuff that.
So let's talk about that
also
real quick.
Movie going is going to change too. Like eventually it'll be VR. It'll all be VR.
And completely at home.
They'll have maybe they can master those movies and update them to fit it, but eventually they'll have to make movies that'll fit like whatever that. Like somebody, I think it was Andy, like a new medium. Honestly, will be created, which will still be movies, but like experienced in a different way. Like, but we're talking like
that 4D becomes the normal.
Yeah, we're talking like decades from now, like at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, on that note, what are some properties that they should do and should not do? Do you guys have any in mind? That
For
it's a
me,
pretty wide open
Untouchable,
question. So,
Harry Potter, Star Wars.
Oh, but we're talking animated, right?
well, either one, animated to live
I
action.
personally
live
never
action
want to see a
animated, I
live
guess.
action Toy Story.
Yeah, yes, I like no, don't make it. I
Well,
made a list, honestly.
I don't.
See,
And
that's
I
the
don't- No.
and Brian, that's interesting because
I would have liked to have seen the Space Ranger, like the whole in space kind of thing, and like I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool.
They could remake they can make Lightyear a live action movie because that's not about
Yeah.
toys.
That one.
well, it's okay. But see, the thing is, I don't want to veer off into a discussion about Lightyear, but which I didn't mind. I thought Lightyear was all right. But you know that they had that kind of, I think it's a 2D animated Lightyear series with Buzz Lightyear and Star Command or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
The
Star
TV
Command.
Yeah,
the
that
TV
was
show?
fun.
And that Lightyear should have been that instead of what it was.
Yeah,
But
Oh,
instead of
100%.
sad, serious, sad movie that it is. But I thought it was fun. I actually didn't.
I went into
not a bad
Lightyear
movie.
thinking.
No, I'm sorry.
I went into Lightyear being like, God, that cat is going to be annoying, and then I walked out of it going, the cat was the only thing I liked.
It's such a sad movie. It's so
I know.
It's so sad. God, why is it so depressing? But yeah, stuff like toys. See stuff like that, like the 3D animated stuff, like all the Pixar stuff. Like I don't know if you can do live action with any of them.
You could maybe get away with Wall-E.
Wally
maybe.
was the one I was
Yeah.
thinking
Okay.
about.
You could maybe get away with Wall-E. You could maybe get away with Ratatouille.
Like, can you? That'd be.
I don't want them
I
to
don't
make
know.
Ratatouille. The only reason is because I'm a germaphobe and it would kind of gross me out.
That's what I was about to say.
Honestly,
Honestly,
like
just don't make it like a real.
that's the
looking rat.
only reason I like.
He doesn't touch the food, though.
No, I
Doesn't,
know, but it's like
It'll be
rat
a
in the
real.
kitchen,
That'll
I
turn
don't
people
know.
off. I think. Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Gordon, see, I don't know if I. If
and
they
we're
could
like
do the
eating
thing.
and
The Incredibles. I was gonna say. I agree. I don't think you can do it.
all right.
I
So
don't
to
think-
me, that Incredibles brings up a good point because to me, if you're gonna make a live action adaptation, it has to like. So they remake like Cinderella that came out in the 50s,
Yeah.
40s or
Yeah.
50s.
Yeah.
Like okay, that's an 80-year-old movie that even the animation is old. So like okay, let's make a live action adaptation. But the Incredibles, like, what is it going to look the exact same way, but just live action? Like to me, you can take Cinderella or Dumbo, or even though Dumbo wasn't good, or any of those old classics, and like you're kind of upgrading it. Like to me, live action animation to live action is not an automatic upgrade, right? Like it's just a different medium, kind
Sure.
of. So then but for me, if you're doing a really really old film, you're kind of updating it in a way. But they're not updating The Incredibles. They're just remaking it. And that's what I think for How to Train Your Dragon, Brian. Maybe that's kind of how you feel that way. They're not improved. Like, maybe they will, but like,
Yeah.
as far as the filmmaking goes, like, they're not doing anything to improve upon it. They're just they can
feel
literally
like-
make it frame for frame, but it just looks the same, but it just looks live action. And it looks cool.
I think honestly, it's so perfect the way it is. Also, that's kind of a reason why.
Yeah, I heard they're beautiful.
No.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, here's the thing. If they did a live action Incredibles, I would want it set before the first film when all the superheroes
Okay.
are there live and like have it end.
So the
just
kids don't
before the first
exist.
movie.
The kids aren't born yet.
Yeah, I want to see Gazer Beam and
Yeah.
Frozone and whoever
Yeah,
else.
Gio.
Bomb Voyage.
You just
Bon
convinced me,
Voyage,
Gio.
all that. I think there's something to
Yeah.
explore there if you do a prequel to that. You know,
I'd rather
fair.
see the animated version of that. You know,
Okay,
because
so here,
there's a
just
lot
really
more they could do.
quickly running through, like I'm using Pixar because it's the top
Yeah.
animated place. Toy Stories, I don't personally. A
Yeah.
Bug's Life,
No.
yeah.
That'd be
No.
weird.
yeah, Toy
It'll be
Story.
weird looking.
A Bug's
Most of
Life,
the Pixar movies, no.
I don't
No.
think.
Bug's Life?
No.
No.
It would just be bugs.
Yeah. The Monsters Inc. franchise.
I think there's some potential there. I do.
Maybe.
I really do. Like, it's hard because are they going to look scary or are they
That's
going to
what
look
I'm- see,
cute
that's
and
what I-
fluffy? But the thing is,
I don't
That's
see it.
okay. Well, go ahead, Jim.
like, it would have to be scary. Like, they would have to. It wouldn't necessarily be a
Scary?
kids movie anymore.
That's
Well,
what I'm saying. Yeah,
The thing is, it would be inherently scary because it's monsters.
they gotta be scary,
Who
but
wants
also
a
not scary.
horror movie Monsters.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it would definitely be a PG-13 or lower. But like it would just already be because like I'm sure like a toddler watches Monsters Inc. Maybe they get scared. I don't know.
But they also have to be funny because that's
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
But
Yeah,
what's
so,
the
like,
story?
where that
though?
movie
Like,
ends.
I don't know.
What's the
what's
story?
the story? I
Oh.
mean, their one purpose is
The
to
Scare Factory.
Scare.
Yeah.
and
I mean that would
Yeah.
be cool.
I don't
You're
know.
telling me like
Yeah.
if like Guillermo del Toro wanted to make Monsters
Oh my
Inc.
God.
like but in his vision, come on,
Give
and
them
like
the Haunted
you can
Mansion
have
back.
they
the kid-
wouldn't.
Robert
kid have
Rodriguez.
a relationship with
Robert
the,
Rodriguez make the new Monsters Inc.
No.
Yeah, I think. See, the thing is, I don't even think Toy Story is doable at all. Monsters Inc. to me is doable.
Maybe.
Like,
So Jake,
for me,
I want to jump back into the Pixar movies. Jake said his quote for the How to Train Your Dragon is, "We have the movies, and they won't make it any better of a story by making it live action."
They're not trying to make a
Maybe
better story, they're trying to
not,
make more money.
but you will
But-
make
Yeah.
money to have more animated How to Train Your Dragon, and then maybe the people who saw the live action How to Train Your Dragon
We'll go
will
back
be
and
like,
watch the
that was good. Let me go watch the animated one.
if you're running the studio, it's a no-brainer.
That's what I'm saying. It's not
But
about
like
making
us
it
as
better.
fans can have our own opinions though, because that doesn't affect us.
Yes.
Right.
Whether it makes
Exactly.
money.
That's what- They don't care about making it better. They want to just make more money.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
here's the other Pixar movies. Finding Nemo franchise.
Maybe. Maybe. I think
I
you
feel
could
like
do
it's
that.
beautiful enough that you don't need it.
Of course. Of course.
It's
Let's
just gonna
see-
look like
a
fish
real
in the
clownfish. Well,
Let's see how Little Mermaid does.
That's
ocean.
fair.
Yeah,
you're right. But see, that's the problem with this is that it's better to do. It kind of goes against what I said about How to Train Your Dragon, because about the 3D animation. Because the reason, like a lot of the 2D animated stuff, it's the whole thing about the whole Uncanny Valley thing, right? Where if you make it too realistic looking, it doesn't really work with people. That's
so
what
to me,
fair.
if
that's the
there's
big problem
not
that people had with the Lion King was that the animals were too
exactly
real
so.
looking.
This is
Whereas-
so confusing. Keith, to me, it's very tricky if there's not a live action, if there's not a human character, if there's not a prominent human character, it's almost like, wait, what's the point? Because people were joking, The Lion King's just another animated movie. Like people were
Okay,
saying,
so then let me ask you this:
Yeah.
what about Cars?
no.
That'd be ridiculous looking.
Also
Yeah.
because like those movies aren't great, but I mean,
That's
I like
fair.
the first one, but that's Fast and Furious, right?
That's
Well,
fair.
yeah. And imagine
I
those
think-
with real,
Respect
like
Fast and Furious, like
with
that.
like mouths and
I think. Well, and the next we already said Ratatouille. I think Wall-E could work. Up would be an emotional.
I just don't want to
Up
cry.
would be
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
I
that's the
don't-
only. They probably will, but I don't want to cry.
Yeah, same. Brave.
Brave.
That would
That
be
could
cool.
be
Brave
that
would be
would
one.
work.
doable because it's
Yeah.
people.
Definitely doable.
Brave could work. Inside Out.
Maybe
I'm torn on that because
I
like
think you can do that.
I'm very torn on that.
It takes place in a psych ward. I don't know. It's just-
It's like the Joker, but
That would be so funny.
Although, well, Inside Out is a. I mean, there's an old TV show that was on I think Fox called Herman's Head, which is exactly that.
wait, how would the figures look when they go inside their head? Would they look like humans?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So in Herman's Head, they were people. That was in this guy's head.
They would have to be people, right? So
yeah.
maybe
that's
it's
interesting.
maybe the patient gets drugged up and then he starts seeing hallucinations of different emotions and they're like creatures.
Why
and
does
stuff.
like doing these in live action automatically make them like adult films? Like they're like
I don't know.
Like
I've never
Monsters,
seen the
Inc.
good. I've never seen the Good Dinosaur, so I don't know if that would
Mm,
work.
That's
no, I've seen it. It's all right.
Jurassic Park and
Yeah, there's no
yeah.
human character. It would just be dinosaurs. There's no
It'd be
human
65.
character.
Coco? Coco.
Yes.
Coco.
Absolutely yes.
That would be great. Actually.
That's the one I wrote down. But you know what's funny, Brian? I wrote down Coco one day because I want there to be some time.
Sick.
Like,
Yeah.
except 20 years. 20 years?
Nah, it
Go
just
ahead.
got announced, man. It's releasing in 2025.
Please no, but that movie could be beautiful and amazing.
Listen,
and
if they could do it tomorrow, they absolutely would.
The last couple ones is Onward.
Never saw
I
it.
I love the movie, but like I don't
Yeah.
know. I just don't care enough
Soul.
for them to do that one.
Ooh, Soul would be interesting.
Soul could
Yeah,
be.
I don't know if they can do the well. I don't know about the whole thing with the cats. Why we turn into a cat, but
This one I could
I'll-
see happening. Luca.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Luca I
definitely.
could see
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
definitely.
See how
Um,
Little Mermaid does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last two being Lightyear and Turning Red.
They're so new; it's hard to even imagine. But those could work. Either one could work.
I'll give you one.
Moana. There
Moana,
you go.
Yes,
so-
they have to do Moana. It's
Yeah.
Moana will absolutely be done.
Dude,
I will
I-
say, Karen nailed one here. Spirited Away. That's interesting.
I was torn on that. I was
That's
really
interesting.
torn on that.
Never
Maybe.
seen it.
I'm okay
Oh,
with it
Gino,
if they
it's so
do.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Because
it's
it-
really good.
A live action version could be very beautiful.
How
Wow.
about Big
See-
Hero 6?
Sure.
Yeah. I
I
want to see San Francisco and
Right?
all that.
actually don't
Yeah.
really want that.
Why?
I love Big Hero 6. I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah.
one of the most perfect animated movies, and it just scares me.
Hey,
That's
Mhm.
built for
See,
live action though.
I
man,
know.
Let me tell
I
you.
know.
It's just
I know.
yeah, I got my Baymax coffee mug here that I always.
And it's already starting to, and you know it's going to happen because they're turning parts of California Adventure into San Francisco now.
Wow.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, so
Wow.
that pier area is going to all be San Francisco now.
Interesting.
They're going to
Yes.
like
If they do it soon, yes.
Yeah.
I
If they
mean
do
the
it
Rock
soon.
the Rock does need the work, so
He,
So I have a couple that they should never do. Shrek or any of the spin-offs. They should never
Shrek would be
do.
awful.
Shrek would be kind of creepy. I
Shrek has a
think.
live action stage show.
Oh
which
my
is
gosh,
weird.
that's terrifying.
So yeah.
I kind of want to see this one, but no, Kung Fu Panda. But no, they should never. Like,
I mean
like,
That's one that you.
can you imagine though? Like a panda just doing Kung Fu?
Listen,
Like,
my daughter Emma, she loves Kung Fu Panda.
they should also never do Despicable Me or any of the Minions films. That
Please
gives
don't.
me nightmares.
Enough.
Yes.
God,
That-
yeah.
If they do it, horror movie where the minions are like killers, because they
Well,
that's
Jesus Christ. Jacob wants every child thing turned into a horror slash. Did
So-
you go
well-
see the Winnie the Pooh slasher movie yet?
no. I
No.
want to though.
well, I mean these horror adaptations would be made for us because we're you
yeah.
know,
yeah.
adults.
Yeah.
Here's one I'm torn on: the Iron Giant.
I was just about to say, so I've never seen it, so I don't know.
I'm very.
You know
torn
what?
on it. What do you think, Keith?
That would absolutely because we saw a live action ish CG version of the Iron Giant in Ready Player One, and you could absolutely
yeah.
do that.
No, I think it would be. I mean, I'm down for it. I
You
just
could
wasn't
do
sure.
that.
It's one of those ones where like I love that movie so much. I don't know.
Will
Ryan,
Vin Diesel do the voice again?
Pokemon the movie. I know they made Detective Pikachu, but get it out of here. Do Pokemon the movie.
Yeah.
Adapt it.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Okay. Insider.
They're doing it.
Netflix.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard
Are
about
they?
something. Yeah,
Netflix.
Maybe.
Yeah, I want to see Ash. Like, give me Ash with Pikachu. Like, do whatever else
Screw
you
Ash. Give me Gary. Team Blue, baby.
I was
But-
looking up non-animated movies, or excuse me, non-Disney
want. Yeah.
animated movies. That shocks me. This one, I completely forgot about it. Remember the movie Anastasia?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's damn near
Actually, yeah.
confused as a Disney movie. That one is
They
easily
could,
to be remade.
yeah, they could do it.
Wow.
I thought it was a
Shane-
Disney movie.
Shane Atlantis should be a matter
well,
of
that's
when.
like one of Jake's top choices.
I know
Well,
he
the-
wanted Treasure Planet.
that's. I
Oh,
was
that's
just gonna
right.
say
Yeah,
Treasure
that's what I
Planet.
was-
Treasure
That
Planet.
was number one on my list.
Oh wait, didn't he want Atlantis also? Right?
Yeah, he wants
The
both
Lost
of them.
Kingdom. Yeah.
I remember when I turned on Treasure Planet. We watch Atlantis. So.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what is this movie? What are you guys
Oh,
talking
you
about?
know what? You know what would be
Okay.
one that would be very controversial?
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Ice Age.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of that.
Why would that be controversial?
But that
Because
also,
it would play into the same trope that Lion King
Lion
did.
King.
No human,
Mhm.
just
But you have a human baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Sure.
And would the
I
baby
guess.
actually be like a real baby, or would it be
yeah.
CGI baby? That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. That might maybe could work.
maybe.
I think they should do The Princess and the Frog live action. I really
easy.
do.
Ooh,
Like,
I would
That's
love
gonna be
to
a
see
matter
that.
of when.
that would be
not
really
if.
good.
My
yeah.
niece loves
because
loves
Michael
that
Jordan,
movie is not talked about enough.
It's 100%.
It's underrated.
It will be.
Yep.
It will be when Splash Mountain turns into it. They're already
And-
changing it right now.
Oh, they are. And
Oh,
like
okay.
See,
that
there you
movie,
go. It's confirmed. You're getting a live action Princess.
she needs to be considered among like the top Disney princesses because like she's a great
yeah.
character. So
Yeah.
The Road
I
to
think
El
they should do
Dorado
that
would
one.
be a fun one.
That's good. That's really
man.
good.
That would be fun.
That's very good.
See,
I
that's why
have
you should
a-
be rooting for How to Train Your Dragon, so that way we can get Road to El Dorado.
I have my favorite Disney, right up there with Aladdin. You know, I was talking about Aladdin's my favorite, but The Sword and the Stone, which I thought I heard they
Ooh,
were
okay.
Oh,
coming.
I remember that. Yeah.
There was
That-
a rumor a little bit.
yeah, I
That
thought there
has to be.
was.
Has to be done. I can't believe they haven't done that.
I got
Yeah.
none. So
Another one that I feel like is sitting there that could be grabbed is Madagascar.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, I was
it
gonna
would
bring
be
up.
as far as DreamWorks projects. It would be like right in the middle, like
Yeah.
because there's definitely popularity. With
Yeah.
that.
I was gonna bring that up earlier because I just mentioned DreamWorks had a run in 2000.
did.
where They were right there with Pixar
100%.
between Shrek, Madagascar,
Kung
the
Fu
How to Train Your
Panda.
Dragon movies, the Kung Fu Panda,
Yeah.
Megamind, even like they were right there with Pixar for a stretch there. But my boy Shane Rose, I don't know if you can see my handwriting here. I don't know, but I wrote Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim.
Is that your address
oh,
on the bottom?
nice.
Yeah, Hunt, absolutely. Let's go. That's a cool story. But again, you might run into the same situation I said about Ratatouille, where you want to have realish looking rats. In that
See,
story.
I completely
That'd be
botched this homework. I had like TV shows, like
you can do that.
like
Well, that counts.
We didn't even-
like
We
like
literally
Street
just
Sharks.
made up this topic like halfway through. We were sticking with How to Train Your Dragon and spun off to this, and this is great.
Heathcliff.
Give me Digimon. That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
I've thought about that.
What is Digimon? I don't even know what that is. How's it different?
I still know the theme song in my.
Did
What's
you
the
Little
difference?
monsters, Digimon are the champion.
What's the
Yeah.
difference between that and Pokemon? Are they?
You can change them back and forth. They don't just evolve and permanently stay. You hit a watch and they change.
Yeah, and they're digital monsters. So
Do you make them fight like they do in Pokemon?
Yeah.
it's like
Oh,
if you
yeah.
had like an
Oh.
app on your phone and you had all these monsters, and you're like, all right, let's battle. And I got like a monster
It's
in my
Pokemon
phone.
Go if they came to real life.
Yeah.
Gosh. Oh, okay.
It's a total Pokemon ripoff, but
Yeah.
it's
Right.
But to me, I watched that a lot, Gio, as a kid. I still
Okay, so
remember
my
exactly
last
what it looked
two-
like.
Mm-hmm.
My
Go ahead.
last,
Go ahead,
my
Brian.
last two franchises that I could see possibly also working: Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I think
Yeah.
that could be
Hey,
cool.
Meatballs.
get the same directors. Get Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
I think those would be really fun to see in live action. Last one, I would not be surprised if they tried to do would be Hotel Transylvania.
That's sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler would be
Hey,
in it, though.
Shane. Yu-Gi-Oh! There you go. Although that hairstyle would look,
Wild.
down for that.
Yugi.
Remember the
change it.
Dragon Ball Z movie? That
I
hairstyle.
do-
In that one?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And look, they will do Frozen also.
I
They
do
will.
have.
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll do
That's-
Frozen.
that's
And
a
as
good
they
thing.
should.
I have Monsters versus Aliens, which would
That'd
be
be
pretty
fun.
I've never seen it.
That's a pretty fun movie. And that would be pretty cool live action. It'd be very expensive though, so I don't know. 'Cause that's a lot of stuff going on there. Jacob, you were on me about watching this movie. I finally watched it a few months ago, and it's awesome. Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Oh yeah. How did we not
So
think of
good.
that?
and
How did we not think of that?
again,
It's great.
it'd be really expensive.
Yeah.
It's a lot. but that would be cool in live action.
That movie's amazing.
Yeah. So
The other one,
yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen this, and I know everyone's told me it's a crime against humanity that I haven't seen it. But Land Before Time.
Which one?
Well, it's just all dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So
But it's a
just be like Jurassic Park without humans.
Well,
No,
but
I
they,
wouldn't- I
and
wouldn't
they
do
talk.
that.
The dinosaurs talk.
The dinosaurs talk. Yeah.
I would have said Transformers Beast Wars, but they are doing that this year, baby.
Fair.
Oh man,
That's crazy.
can't wait.
Oh my god,
We could-
Karen. Fantasia would be
say-
insane.
Oh, Fantasia. Yeah.
Everyone who they were all on drugs when they made that movie. And that's a
Mhm.
movie for people who were on drugs. And
The good
so-
drugs.
That movie would be insane.
We could probably talk about this for. This
Yeah,
might be
speaking
another-
of drugs, I gotta take something. My back is starting to hurt.
It's
That's
insane.
gonna do it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. A very engaging discussion. We talked
Yeah.
about the Oscars. We talked about adaptations from animated to live action. And again, make sure you tune in next week for Brian's thoughts on the Steven Spielberg, Tom Cruise Minority Report and who he's going to challenge next. Before we go, let's do some quick plugs. Let's start with Keith. Keith, where can people find you online and what you got coming up?
Thank you everyone for watching. That was a lot of fun. Find me on Twitter at KeithBarnes79. Like Gio mentioned it earlier, go to the channel, check out our Last of Us reviews. Talked about the finale last night, which is incredible. Quick correction: he does not. Gio's really for you, but Gordon, anybody else watching, he actually in the game you don't kill all the nurses, and there is a specific reason it has to do with part 2. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. But yeah, that was a lot of fun talking about that. Karen
Karen with
legend.
the super
Karen.
sticker. Thank you so much.
Our legend, Karen. Thank you.
Mhm.
And yeah, you can see we're almost there. Okay, we are almost there. Everyone, Bartley and Barnes fans, we're right there. Brian,
They were planning it 2
You
days
heard
ago in
us.
the parking lot.
Yep.
you heard us. We're doing it.
And we
got
talked
the-
more since then. We're
Right.
brainstorming some ideas.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be like not a different show, but it's gonna be better, I think, and it's gonna be more consistent. So keep an eye out.
Yeah,
Or an
absolutely.
ear out.
Yeah, check us out
Oh
there.
boy. All right. Well, Jacob, you kind of plugged. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, of course, with Keith on Bartley and Barnes coming up soon. Check it out. And then also First Round Fantasy on YouTube. There's so much news going on right now in the NFL. So many free agent moves.
Right.
Congratulations to the Raider fans out there. You guys got a great quarterback.
God damn it.
They do.
And check out my buddy Gabe. He's been covering the offseason for us. He's doing a great job. So go check out First Round Fantasy on YouTube. And you can find me on Twitter at JacobBartley824.
I know. I didn't even have enough time to bag on my Niner friends for Sam Darnold before we got Garoppolo. And I was
I
like,
know.
God
Then
damn
you guys get Garoppolo like the same day. Yeah.
Sam Darnold.
Man.
Oof.
Be a Volcino on Twitter and Instagram. A Certain Point of View with Jake. And yeah, that's about it.
We were in direct competition last night. We were competing for our Gordon's affection last night, Brian. He was late to our thing. He's watching you guys. And I said, don't do that again.
I literally was like, wait, we can film at the same time on the same streamer? Like, I was so
Oh,
confused.
yeah,
on that.
definitely.
Two,
We've done
yeah.
like 3 at a time.
Yeah.
You could do 3. Wow.
I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I thought we've done 3 at a time. Like, pretty
Who
sure. Who knows?
Oh, wow.
Ah, let's test it. Let's have POV, Apocaflix, and Bartley and Barnes.
Let's see
all
who
go
gets
out.
all the views. Let's do that. We're going to have a showdown. See
Let's
who-
take a wager on who Star Drew and Gordon and Andy go in.
Star Drew's definitely going to be with me and Jake. 100%. He's coming with us.
Oh, he'll be with Gio, I think.
Well, maybe. Star Drew.
Yeah.
You got it.
We'll see. You guys can find me on Twitter at Insider of Geo. And as far as YouTube goes, just click the homepage on this channel and you'll find a lot of me. So that's going to do it. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned for next week, Apocaflix now. Same time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week. We'll catch you guys later.